Bienvenidos a ¿Qué pasa, Polk? Yo soy Anita Rivera y hoy usted aprenderá acerca de las acciones de la Comisión del Condado de la última reunión que fue este pasado noviembre 17. La Carta del Condado de Polk requiere que el Consejo elige un presidente y un vicepresidente en noviembre. La Junta reorganizó votando el comisionado de John Hall como el nuevo presidente y el comisionado Melanie Bell como la vicepresidente. ¡Felicidades! La Junta también aprobó un acuerdo con Buck Consultants para los servicios de beneficios para empleados de la consultoría. En 5 años de acuerdo sería $242,000 si se financia a través del Fondo de Seguro de Salud de los empleados. La Junta aprobó también un acuerdo con Carollo Engineers para proporcionar servicios profesionales de ingeniería para convertir el Diner South Lake Water Production Facility a un almacenamiento de agua potable y estación de bombeo. El acuerdo de $105,000 es financiado a través del Fondo de Empresas de Servicios Públicos. Al igual, la Junta aprobó un acuerdo con Jones, Edmonds y Asociados para proporcionar servicios profesionales de ingeniería para convertir del fondo para Gus Stewart Productions de agua generada. El acuerdo de $417,000 es financiado a través del Fondo de Empresas del Servicio Público. También la Junta aprobó una transferencia de $200,000 de reservas de los fondos de radiocomunicaciones y de presupuestario en el año 2014 y 2015 fiscal para gastos imprevistos, como parte de un proyecto para mejorar y crear copias de seguridad redundantes para la torre de radio que tiene 800 MHz aquí en Bartow. También la Junta aprobó una transferencia de $470,000 del Fondo de Reserva General de Contingencias y Modificación de Presupuestaria en estos años del 2014 y el 2015 en esos años fiscal para los gastos imprevistos para los servicios médicos de emergencia. En el año fiscal 2015 al 2016, la reserva del Fondo General de Contingencias se responderá con $480,000 de ingresos adicionales de servicios médicos de emergencia. La Junta aprobó desarrollo comunitario, acuerdos de sus beneficiarios de subsidios entre el condado y la ciudad de Polk City por $7,700, el condado y la ciudad de Mulberry en $20,000 y $700 y el condado y la ciudad de Bartow de $85,700 y el condado y la ciudad de Urbandale para $193,500. En otras noticias, el Consejo proclamó el 19 de noviembre al 25 como la Semana de la Granja de la ciudad. Representantes del granjero y ranchero joven comité del condado de Polk Farm Bureau aceptaron su proclamación, así que muchas felicidades. La Junta también de Comisionados del Condado se orgullece de emplear a más de 1,900 personas, muchas que han pasado la mayor parte de su carrera con el gobierno aquí del Condado de Polk. En esta reunión, la Junta reconoció a Brian Finder de la División de Parques y Recursos Naturales para los 20 años de su servicio, a Sharon Story de la División de Servicios y por 25 años de su servicio, Rose Boatwright del Código de Ejecución y Michael Brown de Libertad Condicional del Condado durante sus 30 años de servicio y a Will McDaniels de la División de Atención Médica para Indigentes por sus 35 años de servicio. ¡Wow! Felicidades a todos. La Junta también aprobó una resolución de apoyo a petición legislativa del gobernador Rick Scott para desarrollar el fondo de Enterprise Florida. En las audiencias públicas, la Junta aprobó una ordenanza estableciendo distrito de desarrollo comunitario de la Reserva de Campeón. El Distrito de Desarrollo Comunitario financiará la construcción de calles internas, instalación de gestión de aguas pluviales y instalación de recreación de infraestructura dentro y fuera de las instalaciones de utilidad para el desarrollo 211 unifamiliar ubicada frente de Ronald Reagan Parkway en Davenport. Y por último, la Junta hizo varios nombramientos de mesas laicos. Nombraron a Russell Mouton II, Michael Nolan y Cindy Hanto Mazo como miembros del Comité Asesor de Carreteras del Condado de Polk Noreste para periodos de 2 años que finaliza el 31 de diciembre del 2017. Nombraron también a Tommy Addison, Kevin Hoover y Mark Wilson como miembros del Condado de Polk Noreste Comité Asesor de Carreteras por periodos de 3 años que finaliza el 31 de diciembre del 2018. Y también señalaron a Marcos Skolnick, a un miembro suplemente de la Junta de Ajustes por un término de 3 años que finalizó el 19 o que finalizará el 19 de diciembre en el 2018. Así que eso ha sido nuestra revisión y de la reunión de nosotros aquí con nuestros condados y con nuestros comisionados para nuestra Junta. Pero también quiero decirles una cosa, hoy también es noviembre 19 y la Isla del Encanto Borinquen Res está celebrando hoy su descubrimiento este día, noviembre 19, por Cristóbal Colón. Muchos dirán, ¿cómo puede ser un descubrimiento de Puerto Rico el día 19 si fue por la madre patria, España? Pero si no nos hubieran descubierto, no hubiéramos vivido y pasado todo lo lindo y lo bello que hemos podido acontecer como pueblo. Así que felicidades a mi bello Borinquen y vamos a celebrar lo que es lo lindo de nuestra isla. 100 por 35, que viva Puerto Rico. Y regresamos después de esta.
Miguel Díaz.
Presente.
Miguel Díaz.
Presente.
Miguel Díaz.
¡Presente!
Miguel Díaz.
Los estudiantes que falten 18 días o más de escuela en cualquier grado corren el riesgo de atrasarse y no graduarse. Las ausencias se acumulan. Mantenga la cuenta hoy. Visite boostattendance.org.
Hola y bienvenidos otra vez. Yo soy Anita Rivera aquí en ¿Qué pasa, Polk? Hace unos meses atrás nosotros tuvimos un programa que empezamos con el tema de los veteranos que lamentablemente pues algunos de ellos están siendo regresados a sus países natal por X razón. Bueno, esa X razón empezamos a dialogar con el abogado Fran Valadares y el pastor y ex veterano Frank Pérez. Hoy, entonces, después de esa reunión, pues tuvimos al señor Daniel Barajas, que nos trajo también información sobre el tema, pero nos faltaba un pedacito de ese tema para nosotros concluir este tema y para que ustedes entonces sepan la información correcta y así no hay gente hablando diferentes cosas, porque aquí en Polk y aquí especialmente en ¿Qué pasa, Polk? Nos gustaría traerte siempre lo que es importante y lo que es la realidad, en blanco y negro, aunque yo esté aquí sentada en color. Así que nosotros hoy tenemos con nosotros del departamento de Polk County Veteran Services a Carlos González. Muchísimas gracias por venir acá,
Good.
Carlos.
Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
So, vamos a hablar en Spanglish, en English, y olvídate, pero esto, they'll understand.
Sure.
So, I think you saw the previous shows, and tell me a little bit of what you saw in the previous 2 shows that made you decide, okay, we're going to come on and talk a little bit more about this so our audience is clear on what, you know.
Sure. Well, the one taping that you had, the one show with the attorney, the immigration attorney, I noticed that he had mentioned that from his standpoint and his experience, that this hasn't been as big an issue as some folks in the media or in the, what would you call it?
The smaller groups.
Smaller groups, yeah. Social media have been portraying. And he mentioned something that was actually in the back of my mind, that he said that he doesn't feel or hasn't seen any evidence where the United States is actively going after veterans who aren't citizens of the United States.
Oh, okay.
So, and in the 4 years that I've been working for Veteran Services here in Osceola County, I haven't had one veteran come to us with that issue. So,
So I know you were telling me that when you were in service, when you were active, that you saw certain ceremonies also of your colleagues being inducted into citizenship. So what year was that?
yeah, I was in Afghanistan with the 53rd Infantry Brigade at Camp Phoenix in Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan. And I was there from 2005 to 2006. And as we were talking earlier before the taping, I had noticed several times that we held ceremonies for soldiers who were not citizens. And having talked to one of the guys who I knew, I didn't know that he was not a citizen, and he told me, yeah, you know, the military is going to help me, they're going to expedite the process, and I'm going to become a citizen. And I said, I never knew you were a citizen. Yeah, I was born in Jamaica, you know, and I've been serving in the military all these years, and the military is going to help me get my citizenship. So I remember at least one, possibly two ceremonies, and I remember, you know, emails being sent out and word being spread out throughout the camp that this process was ongoing, and the military was actually actively putting the word out to help folks, soldiers who were not citizens, to become citizens and expediting the process.
That's awesome, because I'm sure that probably brought a relief to them and to their families, you know. So tell me, after we kind of like went back and forth in emails and trying to, you know, get your department on here, what's your take on this that you saw from after you saw, because obviously I think you saw both shows. So what you saw what the immigration lawyer was talking about, and what he was explaining how the law works, and then you saw the second show. So have you heard of anyone here in Polk County that has gone through that situation, or no one's approached you or anything after seeing the show?
No, actually I hadn't. So I, you know, did what most people would do, and I Googled it to see what I could see, and most of the searches that came up were particularly for one gentleman, Hector Barajas.
Oh, okay.
And well, my personal take on it, let me back up, is that I, like the immigration attorney, I don't think that or have seen any evidence of you know, the government actively going after veterans who are here illegally, unless they bring unwanted attention to themselves.
Oh, okay.
And like we had spoken earlier, any veteran, whether they're here, you know, whether they're a citizen or not, if they commit a criminal act, then they're subject to losing
their benefits.
Their benefits, exactly. Now, if they're a citizen, they're obviously not going to get deported because they're a citizen of the United States, but they will lose their benefits just like an illegal or a veteran who doesn't have citizen status. But I just don't understand how you could go through the military, 4 years active duty, 6 years, whatever the case is, multiple enlistments, and never once consider joining the country that you're supporting and possibly, giving your life for.
Yeah, because you are giving your life for.
Let's just say that it slips your mind, and then you come out, you know, like I said, I haven't seen any evidence, or I haven't seen any veterans or heard from anybody, family members or otherwise, where this issue has come up, where they're being deported because of, you know, a criminal act. And we had talked about that in Polk County and other counties in Florida and throughout the nation, they are actively engaging in veterans courts, where we do assist veterans, depending on the nature of the crime, with mitigating, you know, citizens dispute service, where they can go through the court system and possibly not face any charges or any jail time for their crime because of their veteran status.
Okay. And I know you were mentioning that the Veterans Court here now in Polk County. So how long have they been doing that here now?
I think that it was formally announced in August of this year, but they had been working with some veterans, one or two veterans, a couple months before that, maybe as early as June. Okay. And so depending, right now from what I understand, it's just misdemeanor crimes, and they have to follow a course of action prescribed by the judge and the prosecutors and the defenders. but it's to help them so that they don't, you know, they're given basically preferential treatment. And in my opinion, if anybody's entitled to preferential treatment, it should be a veteran who has laid his or her life down for the country, you know. Okay. But yeah, Polk County is involved with Veterans Court. It's new, and we are actively trying to, you know, fine-tune it and tweak it as time goes through. But it's very popular, and of course, everybody wants to help veterans.
Wonderful. Yeah, I was mentioning to you previously that there's something that I'd like to work and help with this, and these type of topics is how I feel I can help, because sure. I mean, I do come from a military family. My dad was a borinquenier, my uncle was a borinquenier. I have a cousin right now, Ruben Rivera. We don't know where he is because you don't see his activity on Facebook sure. anymore. So I guess when he's called for something, he shuts his Facebook page down, and sure. then I'm like, okay, where is he? And then I have so many other veterans that are, and those who are active right now that are in our chamber, and so I feel, you know, not in love, but I feel a lot of admiration and sure. love for my military sure. People. It's something that it just brings, especially now in these days, a lot of my veterans and my active duty members of the armed forces are not respected. Mm-hmm. And that kind of like bothers me. But that's just my take. That's just my take. And I'm here to just give information and not inculcar mi información en la gente. So when we get back to the next segment, let's talk a little bit more about what you did and you found in your research, so that we can get more clearer data in black and white, so that we know what we're going to be talking and give them the right information. Because I'm sure that there's someone out there that's probably questioning, well, my son served, but he got caught with a DUI, or he got caught with a domestic dispute or violence dispute, or was caught, unfortunately, with controlled substances. And now he finds himself in a situation where he's no longer in this country. So we want to find out how we can get to the core of that. So, no se nos vaya, que esto se va a poner muy interesante, no caliente, pero interesante. Así que nos vemos en un ratito.
Por las cosas que nos pueden mantener seguros, las que usamos todo el tiempo sin pensarlo, las que aguardan en silencio a salvarnos la vida. Y ahora, las que llevamos con nosotros a donde vayamos. Muchos dispositivos móviles ahora ofrecen alertas inalámbricas de emergencia, información en tiempo real de fuentes locales en las que confías. Con su sonido y vibración particular, estarás al tanto donde quiera que estés.
Bienvenidos otra vez a ¿Qué pasa, Polk? Con Anita Rivera y con Carlos González. Qué tremenda información. Y ahora vamos a tocar un poquito de lo que habíamos hablado anteriormente, pero un casito rapidito ahí para que ustedes sepan más o menos de la información que él está buscando, para que ustedes aprendan. So, vamos a hablar un poquito más en inglés, para que así, pues, ese es el regalito que le voy a dar a ustedes este año, para que aprendan un poquito de inglés. So Carlos, I know that you did some research, and I saw that you found something, like you said, you were Googling, and tell us a little bit about that briefly, so that our audience can know what they can do as well if they're confused. Sure.
Well, like you said, when I was invited, I immediately went on Google and looked at several different sites, and one site caught my eye, and the title of the site, or of the news, was U.S. veterans banished to Mexico. So I started doing some reading, and they mentioned 2 veterans. One of them served in 1995, and he got out in 2001, and he says that he was under the impression that the military would protect him, or that he was a citizen or didn't have to do anything. You know, he knew he had green card status, but he assumed because of his military service that he was somehow a citizen.
Or exempt from...
Or exempt, exactly, from deportation or whatever, because of his veteran status, yes.
Okay.
So, but he got into some trouble after leaving the military, and he served a 3-year prison sentence for discharging a firearm into a vehicle. And after he was convicted, unlike a citizen who would be set free onto the streets of America, he was deported to Mexico, his country of origin. And so, you know, he's upset. His feeling is that he should be somehow excluded from deportation because of his veteran status, but he never sought to become a citizen for whatever reason. He states here that he thought it was his understanding because of the way the recruiters had spoken to him or whatever. Someone had given him the impression that, like you said, he was exempt and somehow had some type of citizenship, protected status.
So he didn't have a green card?
He did have a green card, but he was not a citizen.
He was not naturalized?
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
So.
And then there was another gentleman, like we were talking on the break, that he had, was deported after his violation of probation, and he had written a bad check and was deported after that because he violated whatever the
he had
the
DUIs
probation, and he had 2 prior DUIs. So, which while those aren't violent crimes, you and I both know, and the public at large knows that those are crimes that can impact deeply into the community. You could kill, innocent people, and their families are affected, and so.
And you go through a process of trying to correct that. You got to go back to school, driving school,
exactly.
and all sorts of things.
Fees and fines that are involved.
Yeah.
And you had pointed out in the article that when you were looking at it, that he thought that he was protected, that his military service would protect him. But that wasn't the case.
No, that's not
Again, I just question why, and I'm not second guessing them, but if you spent and invested all that time serving honorably, because from what they're saying, they served honorably, and we appreciate their service and their contribution to our country, why wouldn't your first priority would be to become a citizen? I would.
Yeah. Become
So
a citizen and follow that, because I'm sure they have children that looked up to them with being in the military, because anyone that sees either a fireman, a policeman, EMS, a soldier, they look up to them because they're heroes. They're still our heroes no matter what's going on in the world. They are still our heroes, and our children nowadays are being influenced by people that are anti-hero, and so we must always support everyone that is supporting us, especially the citizenry. Sure. But with that said, tell us about the services that Polk County Veteran Services has here for Hispanics, non-Hispanics, young people who are considering joining the military. What exactly do you guys do for us here in Polk County?
Well, we're located on Gulf View in Bartow, and Polk County Veteran Services, we have 3 veteran service officers that act as veteran service officers, providing services for not just veterans, but their dependents and their family members.
Oh.
And so, we're proud to provide that service, and that service ranges from everywhere from pension and compensation, monetary benefits that are received on a monthly basis, to dependent benefits. And let's say the veteran was service-connected, passes away from a service-connected condition and has a dependent such as a spouse or a child, then that child might be entitled to monetary benefits on a monthly basis, educational benefits, health care. And like you had mentioned earlier in our discourse, that there's a lot of misinformation out there. So that's what we try to do, is dispel the myths that are out there, get them on the right track, and help them to navigate the complicated process and the barriers sometimes that are put up in trying to receive these benefits. So, and we do have some veterans who lose their benefits temporarily because of going to prison. They lose their compensation or pension benefits.
And those are veterans that are natural citizens. Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So regardless, we're there. We're very passionate about what we do, and regardless of race or gender, or if you're a veteran and you've served honorably, come to our office. We'll take care of you. We'll do the best that we can.
Awesome, awesome. So. Do you have any special events coming up or anything like that for our veterans?
The only thing that's on the agenda right now coming up in the next few months, we just had a Veterans holiday, so is April, I believe it's 4th, but April of 2016, there's going to be an honor flight. Okay, so honor flight, don't know if you've ever heard about that program. That's where private organizations, through nonprofit organizations, private donations, they provide a service free of charge to veterans of World War II and the Korean War, to where they take them to Washington, D.C., and it's really neat. I've had the honor of participating in that, and we take them. It's kind of a whirlwind activity. I mean, it starts early in the morning and it ends late at night, but that's the next thing that we have coming up in April of 2016. Okay.
So tell me benefits for, let's say I was married to a veteran and he passes. What would be my benefits as his beneficiary or his spouse.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because we have so many spouses that come in, male or female, usually it's female, and the wife of the deceased veteran will come in and go, hey, my husband was a veteran and I think he was receiving something from the VA, what am I entitled to? And so we've started a campaign to educate the spouses. So we'll ask veterans to bring in their spouses, and when they do come in, we give them, we tell them what their possible benefits are in the event that the veteran predeceases her, and what process they need to go through, what documents they're going to need. So we try to educate them, like you said, to dispel some of the myths and to get them to understand what their possible benefits are. But when they ask that, we immediately ask them to make an appointment with our office, come on in with a minimum of the veteran's death certificate and his or her discharge certificate. The rest of it we can find out. And
would that discharge certificate be like something like a DD-214?
A DD-214, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
How about children of veterans that have been deceased?
Well, usually if they're just considered dependents, if there's a spouse, a child is considered a dependent under the age of 18 or 18 to 24 or 26, depending on what benefit they're looking for, as long as they're not married. But or if they become or deemed a helpless child before the age of 18 due to physical or mental conditions.
Okay. My mom is probably going to be watching this show, and she's going to say, okay, your father passed and such time, but we got divorced. How does that work for me?
Divorce usually negates or severs any benefits to the veteran. But you know, that's interesting that you say that, because the majority of widows that come in aren't aware that they are entitled to benefits, and most of them are entitled to the maximum widow's benefit, the better of the two widows' benefits.
Okay, awesome. So
come see us if you have any questions.
Definitely. So I see you served in the Army, and what years were those that you served for?
I retired from the Florida Army National Guard. I enlisted in the Guard, like we talked, while I was in college in 1986. And I retired in 2012, and I did almost 3 years through activations. I had 3 activations. Okay. One of them was to Afghanistan. That's correct, 2005, 2006. So yeah, I'm very proud of our military service and the military men and women that have served us. Thank you.
God bless you, God bless you. So, ya ustedes ven, tremenda información que le va a ayudar a todos, le va a ayudar a los que están un poquito confusos con este tema, pero también con esos que quieren saber de los beneficios que hay, y tienen aquí esta ayuda aquí. Así que, what's the number they can reach you at, and if they need to know about services at the Polk County Veteran Services, well, what's the number?
That's 863-534-5200 or 863-534-5220.
Awesome. Bueno, ya ustedes saben, tremendo. Así que a todos mis soldados y los que son veteranos, y también, señoras y señores, a nuestros borinqueniers. Si hay borinqueniers allá afuera, por favor, llámenme al 863-838-2084 porque yo quiero hablar con ustedes. Y este es el último programa del año, pero les traigo un mes en diciembre, que empieza diciembre 3. Vamos a festejar aquí con nuestro show de Navidad. Así que no se lo pierdan, que el mes entero de diciembre vamos a tener la Navidad en vivo aquí, con música, comida y gente, y no se lo pierdan, que va a empezar diciembre 3. Así que feliz Día de Gracia y que Dios me lo bendiga a todos, y nos vemos en diciembre. Así que adiós y chao en ¿Qué pasa, Polk?